This is Rob Dew with Infowars.com, and right now the congressional hearings are taking place. This is in the Senate for Jeff Sessions, and I'm going to play this. This is in the middle of Ted Cruz going down a laundry list of things that the Justice Department didn't do, and it's actually a really good list. It kind of just encapsulates everything they've done in the last 8 years, and he gets interrupted by some Black Lives Matter protesters. So, of course, Jeff Sessions is now a racist because he's an old white man, and that automatically makes him a racist. And I'll get more into that. Other people have come out and said stuff about him, but I want you to hear this general exchange. It goes into the protest, and then Ted Cruz keeps on going. But you need to hear everything where people have come out and said Obama's had a scandal-free presidency. Just listen to the things that the Justice Department has done, and this is into his list. He's talking about people being persecuted by the IRS, Tea Party group. So here it is.
United States citizens for exercising the First Amendment views, for exercising their roles in the political process. Democratic members of this committee were silent. When the Department of Justice refused to fairly investigate the IRS targeting citizens, and indeed assign the investigation to a liberal partisan Democrat who had given over $6,000 to President Obama, and Democrats on this committee were silent. When numerous members of this committee called on the Attorney General to appoint a special prosecutor to ensure that justice was done in the IRS case, Democrats on this committee were silent. When the Justice Department began using Operation Choke Point to target law-abiding citizens that they disagreed with politically,
They just said he has ties with the KKK. You know who has more ties to the KKK? It's the Clintons, whose good friend was Robert Byrd, one of the grand wizards at the KKK. But let's give them their little day. Here they are, the Black Lives Matter thugs that call for cops to be killed. She's all got her makeup all well done for her photo op.
You know, free speech is a wonderful thing. When the Department of Justice used Operation Choke Point to target legal businesses because they disagreed politically with those businesses, the Democrats on this committee were silent.
I actually interviewed a guy who was caught up in Operation Choke Point. He was a gun store owner, and they went after him with abandon for, I'll need to pull that video up, but the government here is targeting working class Americans. That's what the Obama administration's all been about, and killing people with regulations. And now we may have a change, hopefully, with Sessions. Now, I don't like some of the things Sessions has about, his views on drugs and torture, but we'll see if he can be changed. He said he will follow the laws as they are written, not to his personal agenda. He's already said that, so we'll continue here.
Obama Justice Department sent millions of dollars of taxpayer monies to sanctuary cities that were defying federal immigration law. The Democrats on this committee were silent. When the Obama administration refused to enforce federal immigration laws and unilaterally rewrote those laws, the Democrats on this committee were silent. When the Obama administration released tens of thousands of criminal illegal aliens, including rapists and murderers, into the general population, Democrats on this committee were silent. When the Department of Justice signed off on the Obama administration paying a nearly $2 billion ransom to Iran, contrary to federal law, the Democrats on this committee were silent. When the Obama administration ignored and rewrote provision after provision of Obamacare, contrary to the text of the law, the Democrats on this committee were silent. When the Obama administration signed off on illegal recess appointments that the Supreme Court had to strike down unanimously, the Democrats on this committee were silent. And when the Obama administration released 5 Guantanamo terrorists without the required notification of Congress, the Democrats on this committee were silent. That pattern has been dismaying for 8 years, but I take today as a moment of celebration. If once again this committee has a bipartisan commitment to rule of law, to following the law, that is a wonderful thing, and it is consistent with the tradition of this committee going back centuries. Now, if we were to play a game of tit for tat, if what was good for the goose were good for the gander, then a Republican Attorney General should be equally partisan, should disregard the law, should advance political preferences favored by the Republican Party. Senator Sessions, do you believe that would be appropriate for an Attorney General to do?
No, I do not. I believe you, and I think we do have to be aware that when something like this is done, and some of the things I'm familiar with enough to agree with you that I thought were improper, I do believe it has a corrosive effect on public confidence in the constitutional republic of which we are sworn to uphold.
I think you are exactly right. You and I are both alumni of the...
And notice he didn't say democracy. He said constitutional republic, because that's what we are. Now, this came out today. This is on the Daily Caller. MTV host mocks Jeff Sessions' Asian grandchildren. So here, of course, the guy who mocks him is black. His name is Ira Madsen. And let's see, he accused Sessions of stealing his grandchildren from Toys R Us for the hearing, and he wanted to cause grandchildren a prop brought to mitigate accusations of racism. And they don't show pictures of him with his grandchildren. I think they do in this video that you can watch. But here's the guy on Twitter. He works for MTV. You know, I guess a group that's basically based on now promoting promiscuity, young teenage sex, and I don't know what else. Thug culture? Would you say, McBreen?
Yeah, definitely thug culture.
Darren McBreen's over there. But here he is. There's no reason for that child to be in his lap other than to send an "I'm not a racist" message. And people pretty much took him to task. Even some people talked about his hair, which notice he made his hair blonde. So apparently he's not satisfied with his hair that God gave him, so he had to bleach it blonde. Cultural appropriation, bro. Anyway, there you go. I'll show you how how racist Jeff Sessions is by showing how racist I am. That was Stephen Miller. So anyway, Jeff Sessions is ongoing right now, his confirmation hearing. There'll be more, I'm sure, more protests going on. That was not the first of the day, but Black Lives Matter has definitely tried to disrupt his confirmation hearing. And this is all to the delight of people like Michael Moore and Al Sharpton, who've called for 100 days of civil disobedience. Rob D. reporting for Infowars.com and Infowars Nightly News.